Milana Vayntrub is widely recognized for her intelligence, warmth, and unmistakable on-screen presence, qualities that have made her a familiar and trusted face to millions of viewers. Best known for portraying Lily in the AT&T commercials, she quickly became more than just a spokesperson. She became a character audiences genuinely enjoyed seeing. Her humor felt natural rather than forced, her reactions relatable rather than exaggerated, and her delivery sharp without being overwhelming. What truly set her apart, however, was the sense that she was fully herself on screen. Viewers weren't simply watching a commercial, they were responding to a personality that felt authentic, approachable, and human. Over time, Milana's visibility grew beyond advertising, revealing a performer with depth, range, and a clear understanding of how to connect meaningfully with an audience. Her career demonstrates that memorability is not about volume or spectacle, but about sincerity, timing, and emotional intelligence. Beyond commercial fame, an artist with depth. While many people first encountered Milana Vayntrub through television commercials, her creative identity extends far beyond that format. She is an accomplished actress, writer, and comedian whose work reflects curiosity, empathy, and a strong sense of narrative. Rather than allowing herself to be confined to a single recognizable role, she has pursued projects that challenge her and allow her voice to evolve. Her performances often carry subtlety, an understanding of human behavior that goes beyond punchlines or scripted charm. This depth is what allows her to move fluidly between comedy and drama, between lighthearted entertainment and more introspective storytelling. Milana's career choices reflect intention rather than convenience, suggesting an artist invested not just in visibility, but in growth and creative integrity. The illusion of the screen and the reality of presence. One of the most fascinating aspects of Milana Vayntrub's public image is the contrast between how she appears on screen and how audiences often perceive her in person. On television, her presence feels expansive, her expressions are animated, her timing precise, and her energy fills the frame effortlessly. This can create the illusion of someone physically larger than life, when in reality she has a petite stature. Rather than diminishing her impact, this contrast highlights an important truth about performance and influence. Presence is not physical size, but emotional reach. Milana demonstrates that confidence, clarity, and charisma shape how we are perceived far more than height or outward dimensions. Her ability to command attention through personality alone reinforces the idea that influence begins internally and radiates outward. Commanding attention without demanding it. Milana's ability to stand out is notable precisely because it is never forced. She does not rely on exaggerated gestures, loud performances, or constant self-promotion to be noticed. Instead, she draws people in through attentiveness, expressive nuance, and a grounded sense of self. Whether on screen, at public events, or in interviews, her attention feels fully present, which in turn makes others feel engaged. This quality, being genuinely attentive rather than performative, is increasingly rare in an era of constant distraction. It allows her to command attention without demanding it, a skill that speaks to both emotional intelligence and self-assurance. Her presence feels inviting rather than overwhelming, confident without arrogance. And this balance is a defining element of her appeal. Style as self-expression, not statement. Milana Vayntrub's approach to fashion mirrors her broader philosophy of authenticity. Rather than treating clothing as a tool for spectacle, she uses it as a form of self-expression that complements her personality. Her style choices often balance comfort with polish, creativity with practicality, reflecting a sense of ease rather than obligation. Whether attending industry events or appearing casually in public, she appears comfortable in her own skin, and that comfort translates into confidence. This approach sends a subtle but meaningful message. Style does not have to be loud to be effective, and confidence does not require conformity. By choosing clothing that feels true to her rather than dictated by trend cycles, Milana reinforces the idea that personal style is most powerful when it aligns with identity rather than expectation. Red carpet moments and quiet confidence. When Milana steps onto a red carpet, the attention she receives is not rooted in excess, but in composure. She carries herself with a calm confidence that suggests self-knowledge rather than performance. Her posture, expressions, and interactions convey ease, as though she understands that visibility does not require exaggeration. These moments illustrate how confidence matures over time. It becomes quieter, steadier, and more self-contained. Rather than trying to dominate space, she occupies it comfortably. This quality resonates with audiences because it feels attainable and real. It reminds people that elegance is not about perfection, but about presence, intention, and authenticity, relatability as a strength, not a strategy. One of Milana Vayntrub's most defining qualities is her relatability, which feels genuine rather than engineered. Her humor often draws from everyday observations, her reactions feel instinctive, and her tone remains conversational even in highly produced settings. This relatability allows audiences to connect with her on a human level rather than placing her on an untouchable pedestal. Importantly, this quality does not diminish her professionalism or talent, it enhances it. By remaining approachable, she creates trust, and trust is one of the most powerful forms of influence. Her ability to feel familiar without being overshared reflects a thoughtful balance between openness and boundaries. Presence over perception in a visual industry. In an industry dominated by surface-level judgments, Milana Vayntrub's career illustrates that perception is shaped by far more than appearance alone. While entertainment culture often magnifies physical traits, her work demonstrates that presence, timing, and emotional authenticity leave a deeper impression. Audiences respond not simply to how someone looks, but to how they inhabit a moment. Milana's appeal lies in her ability to convey sincerity and intelligence without exaggeration or spectacle. She reminds viewers that charisma is not manufactured by fitting a predefined mold, but emerges from self-awareness and honest expression. This perspective quietly challenges narrow definitions of success that prioritize image over substance. By focusing on connection rather than display, her career affirms that what lingers is not visual perfection, but the emotional resonance created through thoughtful performance and genuine engagement. Navigating public life with intention, Milana Vayntrub approaches public life with a level of intention that feels increasingly rare. She neither pursues constant visibility nor retreats entirely from public engagement. Instead, she appears deliberate in how and when she shares her work and perspectives. This measured presence suggests an understanding that accessibility does not require perpetual exposure. By maintaining boundaries, she preserves a sense of grounding that allows her to engage meaningfully rather than reactively. Her approach reflects maturity and self-respect, modeling a healthier relationship with attention in an era that often equates relevance with saturation. Rather than allowing public expectations to dictate her identity, she exercises agency over her visibility. This balance demonstrates that influence can be sustained without self-erasure. and that participation in public life is most effective when guided by intention rather than obligation. Humor as connection, not distraction. Humor is central to Milana Vayntrub's appeal, yet it never feels evasive or performative. Her comedic style is grounded in observation, drawing from shared human experiences rather than exaggerated personas. This approach allows humor to function as a point of connection rather than a mask. Instead of deflecting vulnerability, her comedy often acknowledges it, creating moments of recognition that feel both personal and collective. Through this lens, humor becomes a form of communication rather than mere entertainment. It invites audiences into a shared understanding, fostering empathy rather than distance. Milana's work suggests that comedy is most effective when it respects the intelligence and emotional awareness of its audience. By using humor to illuminate rather than distract, she reinforces the idea that laughter can deepen connection without diminishing sincerity. Influence built on consistency. Milana Vayntrub's influence has developed steadily, shaped by consistency rather than sudden notoriety. She has not relied on shock value, controversy, or constant reinvention to remain visible. Instead, her career reflects a gradual accumulation of trust and familiarity. This steady presence allows audiences to feel invested over time, not simply momentarily entertained. In a culture that often rewards immediacy and viral impact, her trajectory highlights the value of reliability. Consistency creates space for credibility to grow, and credibility fosters lasting influence. Her work demonstrates that relevance does not require constant escalation, but can be sustained through thoughtful choices and authentic engagement. By prioritizing continuity over spectacle, she offers a model of success rooted in endurance rather than novelty. Lessons in authentic presence. There is a quiet but powerful lesson embedded in Milana Vayntrub's public presence. Authenticity is cultivated, not performed. True presence emerges from self-knowledge, emotional awareness, and the ability to remain engaged without pretense. Her career suggests that influence is not derived from external validation, but from internal alignment. Rather than shaping herself to meet fluctuating expectations, she appears grounded in a clear sense of identity. This approach encourages others to value substance over appearance and intention over approval. In choosing authenticity, she demonstrates a sustainable way of existing within a demanding industry. Her example reinforces the idea that presence is not about constant visibility, but about meaningful participation rooted in honesty and self-respect. Redefining what it means to be seen, Milana Vayntrub challenges conventional ideas of visibility within the entertainment industry. She shows that being seen does not require constant exposure or conformity to narrow standards. Visibility, in her case, is earned through connection, consistency, and character rather than sheer frequency of appearance. This reframing suggests that impact is not measured by attention alone, but by resonance. By valuing depth over saturation, she offers an alternative vision of success that feels more humane and inclusive. Her career illustrates that individuality does not need to be sacrificed for recognition. Instead, presence becomes meaningful when it reflects authenticity and intention. This redefinition of visibility expands the possibilities for how influence can be built and sustained. A career rooted in humanity. At its core, Milana Vayntrub's career resonates because it feels deeply human. Her performances acknowledge emotional complexity. Her humor allows space for vulnerability, and her public presence reflects self-respect. These qualities create a sense of relatability that transcends roles or platforms. She does not attempt to appeal universally, nor does she dilute her identity to maintain relevance. Instead, Her clarity of purpose strengthens her connection with audiences. By embracing nuance rather than perfection, she allows her work to feel grounded and sincere. This humanity becomes the foundation of her influence, enabling her to engage across different contexts without losing authenticity. In an industry often driven by artifice, her career stands out for its honesty and restraint. Conclusion: the enduring power of presence. Milana Vayntrub's journey demonstrates that true impact is not measured by physical appearance, constant public exposure, or dramatic displays, but by presence, authenticity, and the ability to connect with others in meaningful ways. Over the course of her career, through her acting, public appearances, and creative choices, she has shown that confidence is quiet yet powerful. It doesn't need to be performative to be felt. Milana embodies a form of influence rooted in self-awareness, consistency, and genuine engagement, proving that the most resonant impressions are built on character rather than spectacle. Her approach challenges conventional ideas of celebrity, showing that relatability, honesty, and sincerity can inspire audiences just as profoundly as glamour or visibility. In a culture often obsessed with comparison, numbers, and superficial measures of success, Milana stands out as a reminder that influence grows organically when it comes from integrity, thoughtfulness, and connection. Her example illustrates that leaving a lasting mark is less about attention-grabbing moments and more about being fully present, true to oneself, and thoughtfully engaged with the world.